cozy. I want this behind me. Oh, yes. That's nice. Let's just, always make sure we're taking time to be where we're at. Because that's like the premise, honestly. That's the premise and the nutshell of everything that I'm about to say. We really need to be situated in reality. And that requires space. Internal space. It requires reflection, talking to yourself. In its many, many, many forms. Relationship is always happening. One must observe and then process and then integrate and then experiment and observe and then process and integrate. And maybe there's other steps for you. Maybe you don't like those words. And that's wonderful because that is your process. And that is happening through an observation of what you received and what your body is telling you about what you're receiving. Paying attention to how we are reacting to what we're receiving. This is the creation of that internal space. This is what they talk about as maturity. It's not only when you're able to do things for yourself. It's again when you're able to, I guess it is all just about doing things for yourself. Because that's why we do things for anybody. Because it's good for the self. And we know this through observation of how it feels when we do something for other people, when it's in alignment. And then when you do things when it's not in alignment, you're like, ow, I don't like the way that feels. So even in our most basic colonized language, English, we still have these fractures of real truth seeping in to our little boxed lies. And that is connection, that is association, that is presence, and that is what we need if we're going to do anything about the fact that we have violated 8 of the 9 planetary boundaries. We are facing climate collapse, economic collapse. We're facing, it's snowing right now. It was 50 degrees yesterday in Cincinnati. It was 54 degrees yesterday in Cincinnati. And it is actively, I don't know, has it adjusted? Yes. That's my backyard. Which, a lot of people have been like, this fake spring was just to tease us. And I'm like, that's how you're going to take it. Your role in climate catastrophe is it's just happening to you. And the great weather gods are all just who I'm going to fuck over today? Fucking Kathy. Ha! Got her. Wait, huh? To think that everything's just happening to you and that your actions have no consequences. You're always the victim. Everything's always the worst. And then it takes away from when things are actually going wrong in your life. And you're actually wait, no, I should not be receiving this end of, this is actually something that is malfunctioning. You can't even identify that. It's like the boy who cried wolf over and over and over and over. Where you don't even know what shit is. Everybody's so overdiagnosed and overstimulated and undereducated and not breathing. Not breathing. So much so that we're to the point where we're so willing to unalive others. We just want, everybody just wants company. Vibrations want to be around similar vibrations. The vibes were off, yes. Because your vibe wanted to be at a different vibe, right? And that, we say the things, but we don't associate with what's coming out of the heart. The mouth speaks. We have got to get present, make space. And it's not like, be where you are. Be real about where you are. It's not on some woo-woo. Oh, I'm just like not in a place to handle that right now. You know when you're being a gaslighting ass bitch. People love to say, well, no, narcissists don't, like serial killers don't, and sociopaths. Did you know that they took a sociopath and psychopath out of the DSM-7 now? You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? Things are always changing. Like, everyone wants to grasp, because you can't grasp onto a thing, and we have to understand that people like to weaponize shit, and it happens with the Bible. This is why they say study to show thyself approved. Okay? Because when people take something out of context and they latch onto something and they're like, this is the way it is, this is the answer, this is the. You flatten and suffocate. You do what is called, I call, whitening. You whiten it. Okay? This is when you create whiteness. Okay? Sarah Ahmed wrote about this. It's called the phenomenology of whiteness. Whiteness is a position of power in which it disappears its own self. And anyone can be white. The creation of this thing, this like flattening, this box, this is this. It is now, and everything is now robbed of its dimension. Of an object now exists. The thing that we have, like something without agency. Now there is like power struggles and dynamics that are so like, I want to like minute, like teeny tiny, like threaded through all of our understanding, because language forms your brain and how it understands its environment. And when you create objecthood or a hierarchy of humanism, like a centrist thought, you like it's so damaging, because now we're blaming the weather for literally telling us what's going on, like reacting to our symbiosis that is become very poisonous and lecherous on our part. We are terrible to our environment. And cussing out spring, taking it personally is just such a, because like, why would you do that? Because now I wonder what else you're taking personal. You know, like, that's so extreme and too much for you. Like, why would you do that to your nervous system? I don't know why do we complicate things? So many scriptures and so many books and poetry, everything. We want to simplify. We crave the simplification. And then, yet, we refuse to believe that we can just choose that. And I don't know why we don't want to be responsible for our own realities. Like, why don't... I understand... The fear of death, like people are afraid of being brutally murdered by their governments. That's terrible. Like, and I don't want to live complicit to that ever. And like, I see the fact that I'm on a screen. Like, I'm also just like, there's also positions apart, because there's so many people. Angela Davis is still alive, and she was arrested many times and is very known for her beliefs and such. And like, there's so many that are still alive with us. And like, I don't know. I just can't. I've sat with my excuses and untangled. And that's just what I'm saying. It's like, you have to carve out that time. That is, capitalism wants your body. Like, you have to take your body back. That is the only way. Capitalism cannot function without bodies to chew up. And so I just want us to be really present with where we are in places. Take your body back. Breathe. Like, how are you feeling? And just sit with that until you get an answer, or until you've heard all of your answers, or both of those things, and both those things. And recognize that things are going to take time. That's grace. That's space. And like, space can't exist without boundaries, and boundaries can't exist without space. They define each other. We have to think more flexibly. We have to, because that's what is. And it's like, how long are we going to deny what is? Because it just doesn't have to be that complicated. And I'm not trying to take away from the amount of labor it is, because labor is not the same as complications. A simple, or maybe not simple, but a straightforward cleanup job is still like a mountainous task. Like sweeping a mansion, even though it's sweeping, that's a mountainous task. It takes time, labor. It takes the body. And it takes everything happening. And like, I don't know, like even just thinking about, the buildings, like and then, why, if this tree fell on this thing, like, this building fell into the earth because of a sinkhole. I'm seeing mudslides happening in Cincinnati because people are just like piling tons and tons and tons of pounds on, carving them into fucking hacked into the hillside and just supporting it with some rocks and being like, yeah. It's like, what? And just dumping the construction runoff just literally I just threw it over the highway. Just threw it in between the train tracks. Like, I have photos. I got a lot of cool stuff from that trash pile. Honestly, I got some beautiful glassware. Like, it wasn't even broken. And the recliners looked like they would probably be in good shape. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, we're so wasteful because we're not where we are. Like, why are you in such a rush? Where are we going? What are you doing? And you can just throw shit over the highway. Like, you can. You can just fucking quit your job if you want to. Like, you could do literally anything. Like, actually that is something you can do in the States. You could start by doing something. You could probably just go somewhere with a little bit of capital, a little bit of money. You could just do a little bit of anything. Whether that's the craziest shit or some simple shit. Some long-term shit, some short-term shit. And I feel like a lot of we was living on that short-term shit for so long. Because we haven't had time. We've made the time. We do have time. We always have time. We haven't intentionally grabbed the time to be where we're at. Feel how you're feeling. And yes, you add consequences onto yourself, and the consequences reverberate far past the choices, which is why you've got to slow down and be present with your choices, because the consequences reverberate far past. We just had one of our boys who lost his life. One of our I can't even call him that. One of our boys. And a simple choice. He just got in a car. And now he's gone. Forever. And that's the story for so many things. And then there's even another one. It's like the consequence of my mom and dad and their terrible relationship for the 2 years that it was is the existence of my sister and I. And that ain't got shit to do with us, me personally, but it's a consequence that reverberates for them for the rest of their life because I'm alive. Yeah. Just get really present, y'all. If you really care, then you need to care. If you give a shit, then you need to do some shit. Action. All this complaining and whining and expecting heroes to save you, or you have to be the best at something in order to do something. No. Nobody's hands are clean in the revolution, and that means you got to get real good at apologizing. That doesn't give you an excuse to go and fuck shit up. It means you got to get real fucking good at getting present and being like, all right, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So let me make sure that I'm including my whole environment in my feedback of, is this working? I need to look at the weather and be like, baby, are you hurt? Are you okay? I'm going to look at this. I'm going to take care of my wall. I'm going to treasure these random things about myself, the world around me, and others. And I'm going to be like, you know what? That ain't sit with me right. I got to take some time with that. And then take some time with that. And follow up on that. And do the looping with that. Do the caring. Don't do the neglect. Because then we see the neglect reverberate. And it compounds. The same as any injury compounds when it's untreated. It gets worse. It festers. What you pay attention to grows, and what you ignore festers. And yeah, we just gotta be where we're at. If you're always gotta end in action items. If it ain't, my mom always said, if you're complaining, you have to say 3 positive things about the thing you're complaining about. And it's not a gaslighting tactic. It's to pull you out of one perspective. To try and make you see other angles of a thing you might be missing. Even if I'm grateful that this opportunity showed me that I am not supposed to be with this person anymore. Or something like that. Or like, because then an alcohol can show you where you're at as a person. Like, I'm grateful that she ugly ass bitch and I'm not. Okay, cool. So that's the type of person you're currently at. Like, that's a value system for you. That's a good indicator of like where you are at emotionally, what you can actually handle. Be like, you know what, I'm actually not quite as healed as I would like to be, or where I'm at. Or like, you know what, actually, this is exactly the type of petty I'm comfortable with. Like, and then know that. And then do that. And walk in that. And that means know where you're at. Because only then you can get where you're going. It don't make sense to type in a GPS some address you're not at or not what you're going to be, and then be like, why ain't I getting to the place? Like, that, you like, come on now. We got so many external examples of this shit. Like, come on. Walking up to a fucking cactus being like, where are the apples? Like, come on now. Being like, like that's all I'm trying to say. Yep, that's all I'm trying to say. I think I'm about ready to work on my pieces. I got some heat cooking up in the other room right now. And in my studio down the way. I got my show opening. Well, it's mine and Sarah Rodriguez. It's a joint show. Very exciting. March 13th. Yes. It'll be up through May 23rd. The Artist Talk is April 4th, which I think is a Saturday. I'm pretty sure if I got all my dates right. And yeah. That's cool. And that's all she wrote, folks. Sparkling water. Cheers. Woo!